There we go. Hi.
Amazing.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, friends.
Oh my gosh. It's so fun. First stream for me.
This is so exciting.
It is.
Yes. Okay, well, I guess we can just start by everyone can introduce themselves and what you're going to be working on today.
Ooh,
Ooh,
okay.
who wants to start though? Yeah.
We can do a circle, like a little circle moment.
Yeah, I think you should start.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll go down and then around. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I hate you. My name is Tay. I'm an indie author and an AuthorTube, booktuber, all that fun stuff. But these are my books. This is Venture Below and Venture Beyond. It's a YA fantasy, very fun, fast-paced, fugitive princess, pirates, chaos, secrets, and a magical plant. Highly recommend. But I just got done with the third book's first draft. Venture Alone's first draft is now done, and I'm letting it rest. I have 9 chapters in a romance project, and then that draft is done. But then I also was telling Joy that I'm brainstorming another fantasy. So I don't know if that's what I'm going to do tonight or not. And then I'm also beta reading for the lovely Cody the writer, and I have that pulled up. So I'm thinking I'm going to hop around tonight on what I'm working on. So we'll see.
That's a vibe. I like it. I appreciate it.
I love how you came prepared with your book.
I know you had a whole
right
pitch.
I
know exactly what you're saying.
It's just on a loop in my head now.
Yeah. Oh gosh, is it my turn next? I think it might be.
Okay.
Okay. I am far less prepared, if I'm being honest. So, I vibe with me. Okay. So my name is Joy. You're on my channel. Yes. Love you all. Okay. And I am currently working on what I'm calling Project Phoenix, and I don't have any sort of title in mind yet. I've been brainstorming it, and actually the one title that I came up with, I realized that H.G. Wells used it already 100 years ago, and I was like, dang it.
If it works.
I know. I was like, well, okay, that's fine. And yeah, so no title yet, but it's a high fantasy. It does have a romantic subplot. I am 80,000 words into the draft right now.
Oh,
and
goodness.
we're in the calm before the storm moment, before the climax and all the crazy stuff happens towards the end of the book. So yeah, that's what I'm writing through right now. And yeah, it's very surreal to me because my goal is to finish the draft by the end of March. And we're really close to the end of March now. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening. So yes. Yeah. So that's what I will be working on.
Nice.
So fun.
So I think I'm next in the circle.
Yes.
Hey friends, my name is Amina. I'm on YouTube at It's Amina and Instagram at Amina's Library, and I make videos about books and writing and whatever else I feel like talking about. And I'm currently writing my first draft, or so drafting my first ever book. Well, not my first ever book, because when you're a kid you do little things here and there, but my first book I'm trying to actually complete. So I think I'm just going with contemporary romance because I feel like it fits the best for it, but it's very, very plot heavy in other aspects. And there's a love triangle. There's lots of political stuff going on as well. So that's what I'm working on. Oh my god. So cute.
Hi. She's like, go back downstairs. No.
Do you want to tell us what you're working on?
I love that. That's so cute.
Adorable.
Say
So
hello.
wholesome.
We love.
Showing some support.
Right.
I love it. All right. She was like, what are you doing, Mom?
What is happening?
What's happening? I'm like, shh. Also, I'm looking at the chat. I just realized the chat is right there. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh. Margot, Hannah, Salome, Alyssa.
Do you know how to
gosh. Hello.
To get them to be on the screen?
Wait, do I just click on them and it
you
show?
should just, if you click on...
Oh! See, I'm so new at this. Oh my gosh. Yes, Alyssa. Yes, that's my life,
The
honestly.
children.
Oh, thank you so much, Margot. Okay, I think it's Emily's turn now. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Perfect. Hello, my name is Emily. I'm an aspiring author here on YouTube at Emily H. Thompson. I think I always forget my own handle, so I need to work on that. I did that yesterday too. I'm on Instagram at Emily Thompson Writes, and I'm working on what I hope will be my debut fantasy novel. It's the working title is Project Stargazer. So it's a celestial themed. I don't even know if it's high or low fantasy. I keep going back and forth, but I was in a groove last night. Amina knows with my words. So just got over writing slump. So I'm hoping to kind of keep that energy going for just like an overall brain dump like outline of the novel, because I kind of hit a plot snag. I keep breaking my plot basically, as one does. So that is what I'm working on tonight.
Right.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, you killed it last night. Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
I don't know what happened. The magic of stream, I guess, because that's a word I've been getting any day this month. So.
Oh, hi, Belle. Good to see you. Yeah, get some good sleep.
Fair.
Yes. Well, so if anyone in the chat has a question, feel free to drop a question. But I also have a question that I would love to ask you guys just for conversation. So maybe you can just answer a question or two before our first sprint. Does that sound good?
Yes, I love to yap.
Perfect.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm live for it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. So the question that I have for you guys is what I actually wrote it down and everything.
Oh,
okay.
You're so professional. Look at you.
Oh.
Preparation.
Okay, my question is, why did you choose this story idea that you're working on right now, like over all the others? And I know, Tay, you kind of have multiple going
I'm like,
but just like why this one, you know?
Yeah, because I definitely have a lot of ideas for sure. I think for me, this is the one I want to the most. like do you know what I mean? Like when one like haunts you, almost like it's there, like the scenes are playing in your head like over and over again. And the characters I feel like are constantly talking to me too. Like not like schizophrenic, but like in like a way that's like, you know what I mean? Like I'm seeing them and like I'm seeing these situations playing out and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I just like I feel that like itch to like start typing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that I'm specifically feeling for this fantasy project that like is like on my last list of priorities. Like it should be probably the romance project, which I'm feeling like I want to write, but the sun and the moon is calling my name. I don't know. It's happening. It's calling me. Yeah, that's my answer.
Very exciting.
Emily, do you want to go next? Or we want to go in a this way circle?
Sure, we'll go in a reverse circle.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, great question. First of all, love it. I feel like an old philosopher where all my ideas, I'm like, it came to me in a dream. But truly, like this one is a scene. It's like a dream that I kept having. It was a recurring one for like 6 months or so until I finally like wrote it down. And then I was kind of talking to my sister about it. I was like, I keep having this like crazy dream. And then I described it all. And she was like, oh, you need to write that in a book form immediately because I want to read it. So that's kind of where it came from. And I have my sister to thank for sort of pushing me to actually turn it into something. So that is where the idea came from. Just like a tiny little scene. And so I'm trying to figure out what exists around it. And now I'm, I think 50,000 words in, 55,000 words in, something like that. So we're invested now.
Amazing. Yes. There's no turning back at that point.
Yeah, truly.
I think for me, well, this is the only project that I have to work on. Honestly, like I feel like I don't have ideas that are like calling to me at the moment. Like sometimes I have like a premise. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool, but I never think that deeply beyond it. And this story came to me, I think it's now been 6 years ago. And that's when I started writing it. And then like 6 months ago now, I just not scrapped the whole thing, but I restarted the drafting process, changed some names. And similar to Tay, like it just is what's like making me so excited. It just kind of is the only thing I'm thinking about. It's what's calling
Yeah.
me. I feel like more so than me trying to call to it. And
For sure.
I have so many, like, even when I'm not writing, like, I'm like, oh, that's it. That's something that like this character would do, or that would be a cool premise to add to the story or something like that. So I really don't feel like I have much control at this point about like working on this project and like the passion I guess I have for it. Like you can't silence it. So I'm like, you know what, I might as well write. And I love how like the more that I write, the more like, because it started off as like a surface level, oh, let's have some like a love triangle, let's have some drama, some tea, let's make it messy. And then the more that I write it, the more I'm like, wait, there's some deeper themes in this. Like characters have more to them than their love life, you know what I mean? And it makes it more personable, and that's what I'm like the most excited about. Like, yeah, I love some messy tea, but that's what I'm looking forward to the most, like people being able to read it one day, and even just for me to read it and be like, oh my god, I resonate so hard with this. And even if nobody else relates to it, I relate to it, and that's cool. So
I love that.
Yeah, I love it when stories like unfold in ways that we don't expect. Like from what you like set off to do, and you're like, oh, like this is happening and this is happening. Like I just love that so much. For me, okay, I love that I asked this question and I didn't even think about how I would answer. Yeah, Alyssa said she is prepared. She is not. She is not. Okay. Let me think for a second. Oh gosh. So I think with this project, so honestly, I've been like a fervent writer and reader like my whole life, but then I kind of took like a 5-year hiatus from it after graduating college. And then I had 2 children in there, and like I basically was not writing anything, even though I had stories kind of floating around in my head, and I always knew I wanted to write books. Like that's what I love, but I wasn't doing it. But it's I started getting back into reading, and because I got a Kindle for Christmas a couple years ago, and if I'm the type of person, like if I'm digesting content, like I have to make it. So yeah, like if I'm reading books, I get inspired. I'm like, well, I've got to write books. Or like if I'm watching YouTube videos and like really absorbed in a certain niche, eventually, like if I'm passionate enough about it, I'm like, well, I want to make these videos too, because like I just love putting my stuff out there and ideas out there. Not because like I feel like I have anything important to say, I just love the process. So I just have all these ideas. Well, maybe. But so with this one, I feel like right now I have like a roster of ideas that are a lot more well organized. But with this book that I'm writing right now, I just know that I needed to write a book. Like I just knew that I knew that it was going to be fantasy, because like that's what I love the most, you know, across all mediums. But from that, I just didn't really know. I was like, I just want to write something and I don't really know where to start. So I just started coming up with random ideas, and it was mainly just kind of a collection of all the different things that I love. And I just sort of like put them all together, and I was like, well, I guess this is where we're going. And I really pantsed most of it. And just like I would just like be thinking about it randomly at random times and come up with random things here and there. And so the first 6 months of me writing this book took a lot more time, because it was just a lot of that. I don't know. I'm just kind of picking things and really taking, so like if you guys read this book someday, I feel like the influences of it might be apparent, because I used a lot of like familiar fantasy type things. Like I have elves and half orcs and not dwarves specifically. I'm like, I didn't, but I have harpies. And just like different familiar fantasy races and some familiar fantasy elements, but I kind of have all my own twist on it. So in that way, it's just a lot of the things that I personally love in one book, and it just sort of came that way. So,
and that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the best. You write what you know and what you're passionate about, and you kind of I like the pantsing on principle, because it's like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like that's the perfect way to go into like a first major work. You don't have any expectations for yourself, so cool to
exactly.
Like, those.
Yeah, the important part for me was to just start something, you know, and I for years I had all this pressure of I wanted to have a great idea first, but then I was like, I just need to start writing it and I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
it seems like too like you're your perfect target audience because it's like a collection of all the things that you love. So it's like
Very much.
that's for you. Yeah.
So yeah, to market my book, I really just have to find a bunch of carbon copies of myself, and we'll be set. All right, I want to catch up with the chat really fast. Let's see. Oh, Alyssa said, I was watching your story ideas video, and I actually need you to write all of those books in the immediate future. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
girl.
Heavy on that. Yes. Everyone, I was like, oh, banger after banger after banger. It's like I have
Really?
one
Oh my
idea,
gosh.
and I'm working on it right now. So yes.
I find that so surprising because honestly, like when I made the video, I was just like, oh, you know, like these are my ideas, but like I don't even know if they're good. So that's really affirming. So thank you very much. Let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, there's another question from Margot. Are there any songs you feel would be a theme song for your current project?
Oh, you know it. You know.
Oh yeah.
Playlist.
Tay is prepared.
I got a playlist, babe. Which song? Which work? Which project?
I love
I do have one for the sun and the moon. Oh my god. When did I do that? When did I do that? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't even know. Probably a Taylor Swift song. I mean, for oh god. Probably The Prophecy by Taylor Swift for Venture Alone. That's definitely Venture Alone's, which is devastating. Like I would do The Greatest by Billie Eilish, All I Wanted by Paramore, and then The Prophecy. Those are like that's Venture Alone.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. The way, even like following you on Instagram and you say like you'll make like reels of your books, I feel like you're gonna rip my heart out. Like I'm so excited to read it, and I like reading books like back to back because I feel like you're a cliffhanger type girl, and I can't. I need to have it like I need to devour. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're gonna like break my heart. Like I that's just what I feel. You can correct me, but you're not correcting me. So
I'm not, because I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie to you.
No.
And I would never lie to you.
I'm gonna have trauma.
One of my favorite things is cliffhangers. Like I live and breathe them. Like it's my favorite thing.
There
So Venture Below is a big cliffhanger. Venture Beyond is worse. And then Venture Alone is the first one that actually has like a conclusion and like a resolve.
It better, because it's the last one.
So it honestly was very challenging to write, and it lacks a lot. Like this first draft, so I know revising Taylor's gonna have a field day with that, but it's like that's the first real time I've had to do that in drafting, which is crazy. But to end it with the end and not to be continued ... with like a face is crazy. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
you like to troll people, I bet.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite thing. Oh, it's so fun. Every chapter is a cliffhanger too. Like I try to make it like, oh, what did Natalie say? They're like potato chip chapters. Like you're just like one more.
Yeah.
Like it's fun.
Oh my gosh.
Like, they're super short, like 4 to 5 pages, and you're just like you keep going. So it's just so much fun. You know, it's not perfect, but it's fun. It's very fun.
That's all that matters.
Oh,
exactly.
That's so good. Okay, does anyone else have a song that's like
I got a question.
The song.
One of my recent YouTube videos. I don't have one for like the whole like book. I have some for moments or characters, but two that yeah, because they're all very different. You know what I mean? And I feel like too, because if you have a book, it's like, okay, I can have a theme for like, or a song for the plot, or a song for this character dynamic or relationship. But I know that for one relationship, how one MMC, or I guess the MMC sees the FMC, is Treasure by Bruno Mars. I really think that one does a good job at portraying his thoughts. And then one character that I love writing him because he's very like complex and well, you're just gonna have to read and find out. But anyways, I think what is it? Dumb and Poetic by Sabrina Carpenter is good for him. So those are the two.
I was just listening to that song today.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I really like it. Yep. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. I would say I'm pretty similar. I have like a whole playlist, and I think I saw someone ask, like, do you guys make themes playlists? Like, I have a whole playlist for my book that I listen to every time that I write, and it has a mixture. It's mainly like instrumental songs and songs that like fit the vibe from, you know, different animes that I've watched and video games and movies, and like it's a whole collection, you know. But I do have like there's a song for each of like the 3 main characters where I'm like, I mean, there's actually a handful of songs for each of them, but I think I'm trying to remember what they're called actually. Okay, Vera's song is actually more of an instrumental song, so she's like my main character, and it's actually for some reason you guys probably don't know like this song off the top of your head, but the Galadriel theme from The Rings of Power, it just, I don't know, something about it like gives me chills every time I listen to it. I'm like, this is my girl. I don't know, it just speaks to me. And then for Cecil, I don't know if you guys know the song Memories by Conan Gray. Is that his name?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Conan. Stop.
Oh, I love it so much. But that song, so first of all, Cecil has amnesia, so like Memories is kind of like, it matches and it goes with
Perfect.
his backstory so
Yeah.
well. I'm like, oh, it's so good. Might be mild spoilers if you like listen to it and then you're like, oh, yeah, but it's so good. It like just puts me in the mood every time. And then for Rosalind, the closest I've gotten is An Ego Thing by Lizzie McAlpine,
Ah.
which that's an Enneagram 8 song if you've ever heard one.
Oh, I love Lizzie. Oh,
Yeah, I love her music so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hang on.
I
Are
love
there,
that.
there other questions? And like, I'm so excited.
Emily, did
People
you
are
go?
talking.
Yeah, Emily, do you have one?
Oh, sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, let
Emily.
me pull mine up.
No, no, no,
Oh
you're
my god,
good.
all
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
All good.
I'm like getting carried away.
I
I'm like,
have-
oh my goodness.
all good. I have a couple. So the first one, there's like 2 that I strongly associate with my story. So the first one is Bad Omens by 5 Seconds of Summer, specifically the bridge, where it just feels like you're in like a sprint for your life. Love that vibe. And the second one is Abstract Psychopomp by Hosier, which I feel like I always say
I
his
also
name
love
wrong.
Hosier. Oh my gosh.
Stop.
That
Not
song
abstract.
really like, and then for my main couple, which I'm not going to say who it is, but my main couple, it's First Light, also by Hosier. So like the very atmospheric kind of music is what I like. I want to like put myself in there.
Love that.
With all of them. And then there's one
Abstract?
that I have in mind. I know. I like pain apparently because that song rips my heart out every time I listen to it, and I will listen to it on loop. So love that for me. Don't love that for my poor characters because
Yeah.
they need a wellness check, but they'll be fine.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I'm loving Alyssa.
Oh.
I love that that's it. I love it. I love it. Honestly, like I have so many like classical songs in my playlist. That's so fun. Okay. And then No Way, also Cecil Gang. Cecil's a great name. I
Cecil
love
Gang.
that name.
Really?
I love it so much. Actually, okay, I completely forgot. So I like wrote like half of a middle grade book when I was like 14, and I went back and reread some of like the old chapters, which by the way, I'm a little bit traumatized. Don't do that. But but the main male character was also Cecil, and I forgot that it was. So I've been
It's meant
fixated
to
on
be.
this name for like over 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see. Okay, written by Labor. I don't know if I know that one. Labor by
All
Paris
day,
Paloma.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
See, I'm yes.
Labor.
Now I know. Now I know.
It's not an act of love. If you make
I'm
her-
so bad at like song titles
Yeah.
and like remembering. Yeah. Okay, that's so
It's a
true.
great song. I love that song.
Okay.
It gets stuck in my head like nothing else.
Seduction by
Yeah, that's a good
Adam
one.
Hurst.
Ooh, I don't think
Oh,
I
I
know
don't know
that.
that one. I'll check that one out.
Okay. Let me see. I think I saw another question from. Is it Salome or Salome? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm so sorry. But my question is, how do you maintain discipline? And maybe this can be like the last question so that we can actually, we're here to write, right? Okay. My question is, how do you maintain discipline between making videos and working on your drafts? Which is, I think, a really good question.
That's a great question, friend. I will say sometimes for me, like especially in the past when I was in the trenches with Venture Beyond, sometimes the only time I would write was when I vlogged, like doing it, and it was like that was my accountability. So it was kind of a 2 birds with 1 stone thing. I would say now my channel is pretty centered around AuthorTube content right now. Like it's basically all writing and talking about my projects and stuff like that. So it's almost like an addition to writing more so than like they're competing, if that makes sense. Like I kind of view them as the same thing. But I think like when it comes to like editing your videos and like doing that type of stuff, that can kind of be where it's like, oh, this is so time consuming and like, wow, this is a lot. But I also really love making that content and I love watching other people's content too. So for me, it's just one of those like habits too that I've kind of created from doing it. Like for, I don't even know how many years I've been doing it. I'm just like putting a video every week has just kind of been like, a second muscle, you know, like I don't really focus too hard on it anymore. But yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially like because I started YouTube before I started writing again, so it's easier to start one habit instead of like two at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I didn't really have to think about it because YouTube has always been like a thing, and honestly, it's so much fun to me. I don't feel like I really need discipline with YouTube. Like I just have so much fun doing it, so it doesn't seem like that hard to continue doing when it's like the muscle has been like the muscle memory is there. I don't know that the habits there. And again, similar to Tay, like what she said, like a lot of times if I'm writing, then I'll just film a clip. I don't ever film the whole writing thing because my SD card can't handle that. But it's nice because then if I have thoughts when I'm writing, I come on camera, share my thoughts, and then turn it off. And like it's not really separate for right now because I'm also doing a lot of AuthorTube content. And both of them make me really happy. So I don't know, like, and I will never force myself to do something I don't want. Like if for whatever reason, writing just isn't a priority anymore, then I'm not going to force myself to do it if the passion's not there. And I don't know, it's not something that I want to do. So I don't take it too serious. Same thing with YouTube. If I ever feel too overwhelmed, then I won't. Like today, I just posted a video for the first time in 12 days. And I was like, that's fine. But then before that, I posted 3 days in a row. So
yeah, you did. I watched them all.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know, be flexible as well as disciplined, I guess.
That makes
sense. Oh, Jinx, I think we said literally the same exact thing.
Same time. Love Express. Love Express. I was gonna say, Joy, I'm curious to hear what your answer to this is because I feel like we both started our channels like around the same time and kind of got back into, at least for me, I got into writing and posting on YouTube like kind of around the same time. I started working on my draft in April, May, and then I started posting. I edited my first video in October, but posted it in November. And I've just been kind of going ever since. And I work 40 hours a week too. So my short answer question is I'm not maintaining discipline. I'm just doing short bursts of one or the other. So I find that like my priorities will shift based on how busy work is, what my like brain is craving, like if it wants the challenge of video editing, or if I feel like I have something really cool to add to my novel, like I'll jump into that. But I would say it's never the same twice. And it's very much a play it by ear. Sometimes I do not have any gas in the tank to do either, so I don't do anything. And it's just kind of a balancing act. But yeah, we're finding our way. So yeah,
we're figuring it out
as well. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think for me, oh man, I was thinking I had like all these answers floating in my head, and then they all just went poof. Don't you love that?
Always how good.
Yeah. But I think so I think I definitely just literally straight up looking at the numbers, I've written way more once I started my AuthorTube channel versus before. Now there are a lot of factors to that where, you know, I wasn't as serious about it until I started the AuthorTube channel, and like that was like an extra drive and accountability for me, and like an extra, oh well, I'm going to be like filming this and talking about this. So like I have to write in order to film and make videos, if that makes sense. But obviously the time part is a little bit tricky. But I think the thing that helps me is, oh, hi, Lynn. Sorry, I just got distracted. I said, hi, oh, and Caroline.
Hi, Lynn.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Okay, I just interrupted myself because I was like, oh, friends. Hi. Good to see you guys. Okay. I want to go back. Okay, there we go. So, I would say creating videos and writing are two different buckets of creativity for me, and one kind of refuels the other, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Does that make any sense at all? Because
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can
No, that does.
I can only write so much in a single day before I start to feel really burnt out, and I'm like, I can't like stare at the screen anymore. I can't like write words anymore. Whereas editing a video or filming, that just tickles a different creative part of my brain. So it kind of gives me a break from writing, but it's still a creative outlet because I'm a very creative person. And I feel like I need to be productive at all times as well. It's probably not great, but it gives me like another area of productivity. So I'm not always doing the same area of productivity, if that makes sense at all. So honestly, I feel like I've generally been more inspired to write because of the AuthorTube channel. So yeah, I feel like I had another thing I wanted to say to that end, but it's gone.
But I do agree with you. I feel like, especially with the accountability thing, and we probably can relate to this, because if we're making videos about writing, it helps us write, and vice versa. And it does scratch a different part of the brain, because if I feel burnt out by writing, that doesn't mean I'm burnt out by doing YouTube.
For sure. Exactly.
And also with this question, whatever like consistency makes you feel happy is what's important. Like, just because somebody else posts once a week doesn't mean you have to, or twice a week. Like, you don't have to like force yourself to write or do YouTube every so often. You know what I mean? It's like however you want. The key is completely up to you. So
yeah, I mean, if you want to do just like one banger writing vlog like once a month, like you will find your audience, you know. I think that works. Yeah.
I feel like being patient with yourself too is so key. If you like don't have the capacity to do a video 1 week, which like I'm worried. I'm like 65% of the way through my video that I was hoping to have posted tomorrow. But I said this yesterday too, but I got a new job. So I start on Monday. So I'm like closing out a bunch of stuff for my current job right now. Yeah. And it's just, I thought this was going to be a chill week. It's not been a chill week. So I haven't had as much time. Like I might not have a video go up tomorrow, but that's okay, because that means it'll go up like Monday or Tuesday or something. Like it's not the end of the world. It is not life or death. It is just YouTube. So that's helped me as well to like feel more confident in the stuff that I am putting out. Like I would rather put out content that I feel really excited about and proud of than something just to meet like an upload schedule that like I created for myself. So that's been helpful too.
It's like really comforting to know too that like the people watching are supporting you. Like they want to see you win. So it's like if you winning is you taking a rest day or a week or a month, whatever it is, they're fully going to support you. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a big thing too. 100%. Like all of us in this community are like, I just want to see you win. Like I just want to see you like reach your dreams, reach your goals. And that's like how we were talking about in like the beginning. Like it's so rare, I think, to see a group of people that genuinely just support each other's dreams. Like, you know, like we all are chasing the same star.
That's so true.
And we're like, there's enough for all of us. You know what I mean? Like there's so much support and love that we can share. So it's like to like let go of that pressure to like be so rigidly disciplined. As a perfectionist, I get that feeling. And it's like, just remember why you're posting it. Like this is to document like your experience, and then also make other people feel less alone and like have fun. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like just keep it simple, you know, don't overthink it, for sure.
And you're your own boss.
Absolutely.
Like who's gonna fire you? Nobody.
No.
That's a great point.
So much freedom.
Also, thank you,
like
Hannah.
it's so good. Yes. Oh, well, with that. Oh yeah, absolutely agree. This is such a supportive community.
Seriously.
Changed
my life.
It's the best.
It's ridiculous. I love it so much. But okay. Do we want to do the thing now?
Yes.
Coyote. Amazing.
Okay. Hopefully I did this right. Did I do this right? Hang on. Oh wait, there we go. I have to do this. There we go. Okay, and then hide this. Okay.
Ooh.
There we go.
I've never been on the box like this before. I like it.
I was just like playing around, and I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah, I like this.
Okay.
Oh wait, can I ask something real quick?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
I just want to know, Emily, can you do this? Can you do this? Like
Oh.
high five?
Or like do it.
I'm on the other
Where are
side.
you on the-
Yeah,
Oh
like-
wait, like this?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
We're holding hands. I love this brush.
Oh my
I
gosh,
love that
that's
so
good.
much. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, okay. Do
Thank
we
you
want
for-
to do 30 minutes or do we want to do like 25? How are we feeling?
I'm
I
down
know
for
what
30.
you
whatever,
prefer.
friend.
Personally, I think they're cool.
30 is good?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, again, let's hope that I do this correctly. That's my mantra today.
You're doing great. You're doing
You're
great.
doing amazing.
Great.
All right, everyone ready?
Yep. Good luck.
Ready.
All right, good luck.
Good luck, guys.
peaceful.
That is so relaxing. I love
Yeah.
that.
That
Wow. That's intense.
oh my god.
Hang on, I wanna finish my sentence really fast.
You finish
Give me 1
it.
second.
You
Oh, good.
finish it.
I was looking at some of the questions in the chat and everyone's saying there's good questions and I'm like, y'all, that's some good questions.
There's some good questions. I was like, how are we gonna do another sprint when these are so good?
I know, like I'm really ready to go in and I have no idea what my answers are gonna be, but I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
I'm excited. How did you guys do?
Oh, well, so I'm at this scene where like I have to figure out like there's so much world building, which is again why I'm like I'm doing too much for a contemporary romance, but I have these like robots that I just randomly threw in that not like crazy robots, just like delivery.
Robots?
I was like,
Romance.
okay.
Yeah, like
It's a sci-fi.
well, there's this one part in my city where it's like super technologically advanced and all this stuff. So they have these robots that roam the streets. And this girl, she's never seen them before. And she's like, these people are just walking as if robots are normal. And they pretty much like do mail deliveries, food deliveries, groceries, like because in this part of the city they're so like business and career oriented, they don't have time to do groceries and stuff. So they made robots for them to do all these things. So I was most of the time of this last sprint was me like thinking about how I wanted the robot thing to work and
In the world
trying to do some brainstorming. So yeah.
So fun. Wait, hang on, my webcam is now blocking my word count. That's a lot more than I thought. 453 words.
Let's go, Joy.
That's a lot more than I thought. I legit was like, oh, maybe 200 or something. No, that was a lot more than
That's
I
the
thought.
best
Okay.
feeling.
It helps when you don't look at it, I feel like, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Same.
for sure. Oh my goodness. How about you guys?
Emily,
How did you do?
I did okay. I got 350 in my like stream of consciousness brain dump
Super
situation.
solid. Yeah.
But then I like switched book way through, and if I had to guess, I feel like probably like 150 to 200. So like somewhere in the 500, 550 mark, which okay, that's more than I expected. So yeah, pretty good.
Awesome. I decided to beta read for half of that sprint.
Nice.
So I was
Very
reading
nice.
Cody's GWC. I read another chapter. So now I'm on 112. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to prepare a little bit for the next sprint so I can actually do some writing. And I think I'm going to work on the romance project. I just was rereading what I left off on, and I'm excited again. I'm like eager now.
That's the best feeling.
I'm like, I see it.
I love that.
Were you singing earlier? Because I was reading the chat. Okay, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
it looks like you're jamming
love that.
out. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I love this.
Tay, you and I need to sing together one day.
Please. Please.
I would
please.
love it.
Please.
All right, let me catch up on the chat really fast.
Yeah, it's deep. I know Natalie is here now.
Ooh, Lynn added
Oh.
213. Very
Nice.
solid. Love it. Oh, Ian, hello.
hi.
Cooking dinner for people till now. Okay.
A chef,
Ooh,
love it, Ian.
Margot got a scene for my revision. Nice. Nice. Caroline finished my English homework for the day. That is such a good feeling. I kind of miss having homework to like check off. Hot take. Like I felt such a sense of accomplishment, and then it's like that one like bit of homework was done, but I haven't had that in like 5 years, and I kind of miss it.
I kind of wish I had sprints when I had homework to do.
Oh,
Because I feel like I could get a lot done.
oh my gosh, that's so true. Oh, and Natalie, hi, welcome. Oh, that's so real. Want to sleep, but I'm gonna write instead. That's honestly my life. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, written by Ella. Currently making big changes to my outline and made some good progress. Love it. Oh, that's such a good feeling to know like kind of what direction you're going in. Okay. Oh, it looks like Oh, Annie came in here at some point. Hello. And Yanni. Oh my gosh. So many people. Oh, Charlie. Hi. Oh my gosh. CK. There's Amelia. Oh my gosh. I'm like catching up on everything. Besties. Hello. So good to see you guys. Hello. Oh my gosh. Fable. Okay. Yes. Love it. Love it. Okay. It does look like we got a lot of really good questions. So we should probably get started on those. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them because do we want to do another sprint after this chat? Like how's everyone feeling? Good, or is it going to be too late?
No, I'm
okay.
good. I'm thinking like let's just go with the vibes. If we're feeling like
yeah.
Or we can chat.
I'm down for that too, but I don't want to be like let's push it super late, but like I'm a massive night owl, so like I could stay here for a minute.
Same.
Okay. Let's go back to I'm like scrolling way up for the first question. Okay. From Salome. Okay. I sometimes view my drafts as a play or film to help me with blocking and moving a scene forward. So my question is, do you guys have any actors in mind for any of your characters? Oh, that's fun. That's a fun question.
I know for my Pinterest, I have like characters that I pinned. I don't know any of them, but I know that at least for my MMC, just think of the most attractive man you've ever seen in your life.
Love it.
That's like my guy.
That's so good.
Because I feel like too, you guys ever read a book and like even if they describe someone as a certain way in your head, it's someone completely different. So I kind of
100%.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm like, there's no way he's a blonde. He's a brunette. So that's kind of
there you go.
What I'm doing with mine.
Yeah. Like people are gonna come up with their own ideas. Yeah.
And then they get mad when it comes into a movie and they're like, that's not who I envisioned.
It's gonna be different for everybody. Like we all picture different people. Yeah.
But it's funny because I feel like in each book I read, it's the same guy in each book.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's just booked and busy. That's all.
Yeah.
We love that for him.
He gets around.
Man. Honestly, I remember in college, there was this whole essay that I read that was about like how readers are equal participants in creating the story. It was like this whole philosophy. And honestly, Amina, that's kind of that in a nutshell. It's like,
honestly, they're
going to bring their own idea of your character to the table and like how they envision it. So it's kind of just like, meh. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have?
Oh, I have so many. I have so many.
Yeah.
Okay, for Venture, specifically Leo, the main male character, I don't have one. He is like his own entity in my head. Like I made him on Artbreeder, and that is the only thing I have ever come close to. I'm like, that is Leo, and I can't touch it because it's like so perfect.
Yeah.
And then Adelaide is Adelaide Kane from Rain. That like movie series or TV series.
I feel like I need to Google all these.
Yeah, I'm Googling right now.
Yeah, Adelaide Kane. And it's so funny because I named my character Adelaide and then I saw her and I was like, that's her. Yeah, that's Adelaide Kane. And
I love that.
I like saw her in something and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so my character. And then I saw her name was actually Adelaide and I was like, wow, it's meant to be.
That actually like kind of works perfectly. Yeah.
And then Riley is oh my gosh, she's in the 100. Somebody help me. Who's watched the 100?
Yes. Oh wait,
the girl with the black hair. Help me.
Octavia.
Yes, Octavia is Riley.
Yes,
for sure. Like specifically when they first get there,
I know who that is.
That's exactly it. And then Alex, who is the love interest for Venture Beyond. Yes. Girl, I love you.
There she is. There she is. Right there.
And then Alex, who is the love interest for Riley, is Henry Cavill, but specifically in oh my gosh. We talked about this before. Isolade and something. He was in one movie that was like taking place in like medieval times. It wasn't The Witcher. And it was when he was younger, and that was exactly it. It was like Tristan and something, I can never say the name, but yeah, that's specifically for Venture. And then I do have an entire cast stacked up for The Sun and the Moon. Like that came first.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm trying to find him and what you're talking about, but I can't find it.
Okay, it's in the comments. Tristan and Ice. Thank you. However you
Isolde.
Isolde.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at pronunciation, but him and that specifically. That specifically.
Oh my gosh, Alyssa. Don't talk about that.
I
That was
like,
my
where's my
show,
girl?
like in
Where's
high
Alyssa?
school. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
You
Thank
had it,
you.
Octavia.
Thank you, Amina.
Yep.
Yes, that's him. That's him. And then do you guys know Damiano David from Mainskin, the band?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Him and help me. Oh my God, Dove Cameron are a couple, and I swear I manifested that. I did.
Oh, okay.
Because
I see.
they were on my
see.
dream vision board for the sun and the moon, and I have a character named Nyx, and that is Dove Cameron. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then
I'm seeing the vision.
And then Damiano is who I already envisioned as being Grayson. And I was like, oh my God, now they're like in love. I think I did that. No,
Amina, you're on a mission. You're doing
Presentation queen.
You're
That's so good.
I need to see.
And I'm done because I could go on forever. It's like my favorite
love
thing.
that. That's so fun. I love how you have like all of them prepared. That's so good.
It's
They're
like
locked.
when someone, like, you know, when your friend's telling you who they're dating and you're like, okay, well, let me see a picture.
Show me a picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he sounds
Like,
fine
I
and dandy, but
promise.
let me see.
I promise it works. I promise.
Yes.
He's
she
efficient.
is.
I know. He
I
looks
love
better
it.
in person, I swear.
I promise.
Love
It's
it.
the lighting.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, anyone else?
I feel like
Emily,
I don't
do you
really have
have
an
any?
actor
Okay.
like fan cast for them, but I do like on Pinterest I'll find a picture of somebody and I'll just kind of like use that. But if I had to pick an actor off the top of my head for like my female main character Isabel, I think I'd have to go with Emily Bader, who was in My Lady Jane, and she's going to be in one of the Emily Henry adaptations that's coming. She's awesome. Like my character,
Oh yeah.
I feel like was informed by My Lady Jane, not a carbon copy or anything, but a lot of
What's the
qualities
name
I'm
again?
like, oh,
Sorry.
Emily Bader.
Emily Bader.
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 Okay. I thought you said Emma. Ooh, okay. Let's see a picture.
Very
Is
fun.
it this one?
That's the one. Everybody else
There
I
she
don't know.
is.
That's probably the only one.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
All right. For me, I only have two that I've like, they're not exact, but when I was kind of coming up with the characters, I found a couple of actors where I was like, okay, like they could kind of pass as these characters, but it's still not like exactly as I envisioned them. But the closest I found for Cecil would be, okay, this is like technically a child, but make him an adult, make him a grown up, add 10 years. But Walker Scobell, the guy that played Percy Jackson in the newest adaptation, that's the closest I've seen to Cecil, because Cecil's got like that like golden retriever energy, like blonde curly hair and like green eyes and freckles, like, but
You
like
scared me.
age him up.
I was like, what am I about to Google?
This is a child.
Age him up, please.
Yeah. I see the
But
vision.
honestly, that means that if there is a film adaptation and like
About the
10 years
time.
of my book, he would be the right age. So
Mhm.
not that I think that would ever happen, but okay. And then for Vera, the closest that I found was Megan Rath. Roth, is that how you pronounce her name? Did you guys ever watch Being Human? That was a show that I ate up as a high schooler.
I don't think I did.
And she was like the ghost in that show, but it was a show with like vampires, werewolves, and a ghost that all lived in a house together, and it was kind of fun.
Oh.
By CK.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, ignore the ad.
Okay. Okay, Amina. Thank you. Absolutely killing
Love
it.
it. Yes. So that's all I really have for my characters. There was one time I randomly saw a gender bent version of like a it's just some, I don't know, there was a post on Reddit where it had like a bunch of like male actors and they were all gender bent to be women, and one of them I was like, that's what Rosalind would look like, but I don't know which actor it was. So that's not very helpful. But I mean, they were all very beautiful women. So it was the weirdest post. But anyway, let's see another question. I have to scroll so far up. Oh, I have starred. I starred them. Okay, actually, there we go. Oh man, are there any that stand out to you guys? Because there's so many, and I don't think we can answer all of them. But I like all of them.
Oh, I'm gonna scroll
Oh my
back.
gosh. Yeah. I think. Oh. I'm like scanning them. Oh, Caroline's question, and maybe Hannah also had a similar one about POVs. So
Yeah.
Hannah asked about how do you all figure out scene order when/if writing in multiple POVs? Like if characters are separated and events are playing out simultaneously, how do you decide who goes first? And then Caroline had a similar one where it was like, when you have a dual POV book, how do you decide who gets the POV for that chapter when they're both in the chapter together? So like POVs in general, like I feel like that's a really good question. So does anyone have any thoughts? Oh, and I'm seeing there were questions, American or British version about being human. I think it was the American version. But anyway, that's a side note.
Who wants to start with this one? What? I didn't know we're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I can start. Okay. Okay, so POVs. I have 3 POVs in my story. And I'll just say I'm not handling it well, I think. I think figuring out the order of sort of the scenes, like who's saying what when, for me, that's like a draft 3 or 4 problem. What I've been doing is just writing out each of the stories for each character kind of chronologically. I know there's certain scenes that really make sense from one character's perspective. So right now I have like in Scrivener, I have like a folder that's Isabel, my main character. So I'm writing out like all of the stuff pertaining to her, all of her major scenes where she's our POV, I guess. And then same thing for Nestor and for Lucy. So I'm kind of piecemealing some of them overlap. It's very much a messy, imperfect system, but
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm doing now. So that way, when I'm hopefully revising, starting draft 2, I can kind of go through and be like, you know what, in order for this to kind of make sense later, I think we need to start with this person's POV. Like I see that this is something that is known by Lucy at this point in the story, so it wouldn't make sense to put this before. I think it's going to be a little bit like POV Tetris when I actually go to sort of consolidate everything. But for now, I would say I'm not prioritizing that. I'm just trying to figure out what the arcs for each of my characters are, and then I'll kind of fill in the gaps later. And in terms of how I decide who gets the POV, I just think of like the character that it would make the most, or it would make the least sense if they're removed from the scene. So like without that the scene doesn't work, then I'm like, okay, I think that person needs to be the POV character. Or if they have like the greatest pain, they're running up against the biggest challenge. So like in one of them, it's the first interaction between my female main character, or my first female character, and my male main character. It only makes sense from her perspective because of the certain things that she has to accomplish in that scene. We do get a call back to it later from his POV, but it's like very short, very much in passing. And I feel like he was less affected by their first interaction than she was. And so she wins and she gets to be the one sort of telling that story. But yeah, I always just think, who can I remove without the whole scene falling apart? If they can be out, then they can't be the POV character. It has to be somebody who's structural to that scene. But I don't know if that makes anybody else. It makes sense in my brain, but coming out of my mouth, I'm like, I don't know if that actually works. But that's kind of how I've been doing it.
Yeah. That's a really cool process. Like, I like the way that you're kind of like focusing on each individual character first. That's actually really unique. I really like that because then you can kind of really focus on the character. Oh, I just saw Bye, Lynn. She has to go. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for being here.
Have fun on your trip.
Yes.
Have fun. Travel.
Okay. Do the wool. There we go. Okay.
I can't do the Gen Z heart. I'm a millennial girl heart totally.
Well, what about this one?
I'm a millennial. I feel like this.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I'm usually like
Yep.
Yeah. Now it
Um,
feels more genuine to me.
Yeah.
that's
This
fair.
is like Taylor Swift, Fearless Heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I think
That could be a
for
side note.
me about the POV thing, I'm trying to think. Honestly, I mainly go with my gut, which I know is not that helpful, but like I just kind of get a sense. I'm like, okay, this character needs to be. I don't know. It just like makes sense in my mind. So I usually don't think about it that much. But if there have been a few times where I have been a little bit stuck, where I'm like, oh, it doesn't really make a difference which character it would be in my mind initially. So then what I then think about is I think about what I want the reader to notice and take away from that scene and from that environment that they're in, from the things that happen. And then I consider like because I really only have two main POVs. I did throw in like a rogue POV just now, which like is a whole different thing. But the reason I decided to do that, and it like may or may not end up being in the book, but they were separated, and I realized that this character would introduce some really important plot elements that will come into play. Like if I were to go in her POV and just kind of get a sense, give the reader a sense of like what she was up to, while separated from our main two characters. Because again, they're plot relevant. But I just ultimately think about the character and their background and kind of where they're coming from. And I think about the kinds of things that they would notice and pick up on. And it's like if whichever one aligns closest with what I want the reader to see
Yeah.
is usually what I pick. But other than that, it's really just gut. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
So yeah. And then it looks like some other people had let's see, Natalie, when writing multi-PV, I think of who is driving this scene, who is the main character of this particular scene. It's not always going to be the right choice, but it helps like 90% of the time. It's true. I like that idea of like who is driving, like which character is making the most decisions in that scene. And it's probably like better to be in their head. Again, not always, but like generally speaking, I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, this is another good point. You also don't have to change POV every chapter. If you have same POV for back-to-back chapters, that's okay. Yeah, I do that all the time. I also have the way that I'm writing it, I have lots of scenes divided within chapters, and sometimes I'll POV hop in the same chapter but like a different scene. So it's like I'll have a scene within a chapter, and then in the same chapter it's still that same like arc of the chapter. It still feels right for it to be a single chapter, but the next scene or the next part of the chapter will be from the other character's perspective, which I feel like, yeah, I am writing in third person limited, so I feel like that sort of helps because like sometimes with first person I feel like POV switching can get a little bit tricky. Like you might want it to be a little bit more delineated, but since I'm third person, it doesn't, that's not really a consideration in my mind. So
Amina, did you have thoughts on it?
My thoughts are all over the place. Yeah, because when I started this book, I wasn't gonna do dual POV, but then when I hit like chapter 6, I was like, it doesn't make sense for this to be in the main girl's POV. So I just randomly was like, okay, we're gonna try the MMC's point of view, because it just helped because she came in like kind of with a bang into like his office, and it was like a very like chaotic thing, and I just thought it would be very interesting to learn more about her. Because I feel like I didn't know her, and I still am getting to know her, and seeing her from someone else's eyes kind of helped. It's almost like when someone asks you, like, tell me about yourself, and you don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know about myself, and you ask your friend, and then they can probably put it into words better than you can. So, at least that's how I started the dual POV. But since then, trying to figure out when to do my MMC or FMC, even when they're in the same scene, because I really liked somebody asked the question about like when they're in the scene together, who should I put the POV in? And to me, it's not even so much about what happens in the scene, because I don't care as much as the like inner dialogue and what's going on in their mind. Like I can say like, oh, she walked across the street, or she bought a dog, or something like that in anyone's POV. It doesn't really matter. But like, what do I want the readers to learn about the character in that chapter and through the POV?
Jump scare.
Right? That's kind of what I think of the most. And also, if I feel like we haven't learned enough about a certain character yet, then I'm like, okay, let's have another POV for them, so then we can get to know them better. And right now I kind of have a structure of like, okay, like the FMC is like every 2 chapters it's in her POV, then the male main character is the next, but like it changes every so often because it depends on what's happening in the scene. But I really just think about internally, what do they think of the situation, and what do they think, like how do they view the world, how do they view whatever, and how we can get to know them through what's happening, I guess.
Yeah. And what's going to bring the most drama?
Yeah, that's my big thing. Like, for Venture Alone, Natalie and I plotted and outlined that together, and there's a few different POVs going on, but it's like pretty much the three main POVs throughout the whole story. And I didn't know if I wanted to do it in like a part. So like part 1 is this character, part 2 is this character, part 3 is this character. If I wanted it to be like sequential, like this is this character A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. And me and her just kind of sat down and we're like, we're going to just plot this out and then decide who it makes the most sense for it to be, like how she framed it up in her like comment, but also like who is going to be the most dramatic, like who getting this reveal, like who is going to react the craziest, and like honestly, like who is going to be most emotionally impacted by this. And that's like who I would pick. I'd be like, oh, this is about her daddy. Like, I want her to be the one to like react. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, this is their best friend that's dying. Like, I want it to be them. Like type vibe. You know, not a spoiler or anything, I swear. But for my romance book though, I'm doing alternating. So it's like I have it being like the FMC like back to back, and I'm not ending the chapter until like I feel what they needed to experience is resolved. So that's kind of different for me. And then for the Sun and the Moon, I have no idea. I'm really excited for that one because I don't know. So it's just fun. I think it's super fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was just looking at the chat and it looks like Ari is here. So hello. I just wanted to acknowledge Ari.
How was your
and I think she had surgery.
Oh. Did she say how she's doing?
Yeah, okay, wait. I think she did. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah.
So tired. I think the surgery went really well. All 4 wisdom teeth are gone and not swelling yet.
Let's
go.
Okay,
girl. Yeah, I also I
four?
really need to get my wisdom teeth removed as well. So I'm a little bit afraid of that, but I'm so glad that you're healing up well, it seems. Okay.
And good night to all the friends that are going to sleep.
Yeah, it looks like Alyssa's going to sleep and Amelia. Yeah, good night, guys. Yeah.
I'm in it for the long haul, man.
Yeah. Oh, and then Hannah said the emotional investment in the characters is so true. Whoever's affected the most is going to have the most to say about what's happening.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, Ari, that makes me feel better. Thank you. I'm seriously, I've been procrastinating getting this done, like getting my wisdom teeth out, but it's okay. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to answer a couple more questions maybe?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. Amina's like,
let's keep going.
Ready.
Oh my gosh, hang on. I need to like scan through the questions really fast.
Yeah, Natalie.
Oh gosh.
Sleep, I don't know her. We're here to vibe, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so true. I don't really sleep. No, I do, but not that much. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting. If you weren't writing books, what medium of storytelling would you be using and why? That's so interesting.
Tell me why my first thing was like easy books. I completely misunderstood the question.
It's like no books for you.
Write books, obviously.
We're taking the books away. No books.
I was like thinking like, oh, a children's book or something, but like that's still a book. Like
it's still a book. Yeah.
I think just YouTube.
Oh, that's true. YouTube is a mode of storytelling for sure.
That's a great question. Probably music, honestly. For me.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I would say probably music as well. Music or like poetry.
I love
probably.
Poetry.
Yeah. Although I also love art. Like I haven't been making a ton of art recently. I had a moment. Are you guys familiar at all with like Nuzlocke comics or like Pokemon Nuzlocke runs or anything like that. There's a whole internet subculture. Okay, yeah. I might not get into it, but I did make like an ongoing comic that was like Pokemon themed for a while that I posted
That's
to
so
DeviantArt.
That's so cool.
So like that was a really, really fun medium. So I don't know if comic books would count as books or like comics in general,
I
but like
think it's, yeah, it's like a different.
yeah, it's a little bit different. Or like honestly, like graphic novels. Again, I don't. It might be a little bit too close, but that would be very up my alley.
I wish I could draw. That's so fun. I love that. Any people that can like draw and are artistic, I'm like, yes,
it's
I
so
love that
fun.
so much.
Same.
Oh.
That is not a skill set I have either.
Me neither.
I used to like a lot, but I haven't in a minute, so I don't think I'm capable anymore. But I feel
No,
like
girl, just go pick up a pencil and try. Yeah.
I like to color.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
about all I
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with balanced visual storytelling with elements with written word and panel design. I had so much fun with it. It was so much fun to like design the different panels, and like I would hand draw them usually actually rather than like using like strict squares and rectangles and stuff. So they're a little bit more organic, and I don't know. It took such a long time for every single piece, and I kind of panched the whole thing, not gonna lie. So if I were ever to do something in the future, I would actually write it all out beforehand and then draw everything. But it's a lot more. It's really in depth to have to plan.
I got it.
Yeah.
Like storyboarding and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, like animating something would be fun too. But that would be a lot. That would be a lot. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Anyway.
I'd love to be a voice actor for a cartoon. Oh
that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would love that too. There was a moment in time when I wanted to be like a voice actor or something. Like, yeah. All right, let's look at.
I like the subplot one.
Yeah.
Laura.
Okay. Let's do that one.
I feel like that might be
I'm like, there's so many good questions. It's like, how do we? Okay.
So there's not a wrong choice among them, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Genuinely. And we should probably get to sprinting soon. So maybe this will be like the last question or second to last, maybe. Tay's like, we don't have to. We can just talk. We can also do that. I'll leave it up. How about, I mean, the chat can also be like, do you want us to keep chatting or do you want us to?
Yeah, let us know. Or
Sounds
we can
good.
do like
let us know.
sprint. It could be like 20 minutes or so if you
Yes.
want.
Yeah. Let us know like what the vibe is and how people are feeling, please. But anyway, so it's subplots.
Yes, I have an answer for this. So how do you decide what subplots should stay, be taken out, or added? I had a big problem with this for Venture Beyond, actually, and this is what I think was a massive roadblock for me and why it took me 3 years to write the book was because I had so many subplots and like secondary characters that were not adding to the main plot or driving the story forward. So that's what I would say is if it's not advancing your character's arc or like changing them in some way internally, like if this situation, this scene isn't like promoting like growth or progression in the storyline or in your character, then it's probably just extra. And like if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. You know what I mean? Like if it's a fun scene that like you enjoy and like you're cool with it, like not advancing the plot, then keep it. I'm not going to tell you how to write your book. But for me, it's like if it's not adding anything, and just kind of this random piece of information like floating like an island and it's not a part of the mass, like it should probably go. And I've killed a lot of darlings that way, but it made the story stronger and more concise. So as the reader, you're not pulled out. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, the subplots, I think I'm not fully there yet because I feel like these decisions will kind of come more into play while I'm revising, because right now I'm just kind of like letting everything like land the way it does, especially being I lean more towards discovery writing, I'm realizing, because I've tried planning and it doesn't work for me. So I'm just discovery writing, or at least I'll do like a zero draft and then overlay it with like more of a first draft. And then after that, I'll revise more. But anyway, I feel like my first impression or like my first thought would just be that any subplots that you include, so like you have your main plot, right? Like that is the main thread that's tying everything together. Like any subplot that you have, it needs to be in service of the main plot. It can't be the other way around where the main plot's in service of the subplots. Otherwise you're gonna like go in circles and it's not gonna be focused. So that would be like my biggest tip would just be always be thinking kind of like what Tay said, like, how is this serving the main plot? How is this serving the main story that you're trying to tell?
Yeah, I feel like similar to you, like I'm too early in the drafting process to know what to take out yet, because right now I'm just trying to put as much in. But I do know that like I have so many like I do like to make my side characters as fleshed out as possible without trying to take away from the main. And sometimes I have to tell myself like, okay, nobody really cares because you're not the main character, you're not the star of the show, so I need to relax. So I try to like limit that, not as much as I can, but I know that I can get carried away a little bit. And I feel like sometimes not that I have any plans to, but like if I really really like an idea, I can always make another book about this character. I can always like
That's true.
flush it out in another time and place, but not everything that I enjoy and not everything that I like needs to be in this book. And if you feel like you can take it out and the book will remain the same, then take it out. Because I just finished reading a book, and although I liked it, there was a lot of things that I was like, girl, you didn't need to do this. Like, I did not need to know this person's childhood trauma. Like, it's not has nothing to do with this book. So if you can take it out, then take it out.
Yeah.
Same
That's
goes
good
for
advice.
characters. Same
Mm.
goes for characters. If you can take them out and not
Oh my
matter,
gosh.
just saying. Like I got rid of a
That
best
one's
friend,
so hard
I
for
got
me to
rid of a
hear.
motherly
Oh.
figure, like because they just didn't advance the plot. Or like literally, if I took them out, nothing happened. I had a teacher in Venture Beyond, and I had all these scenes. I wrote like probably like 2,000-3,000 words of like all of this backstory for them, and then I realized it did nothing. It was just like a speed bump in my story. And even like my friend Kayla who read it was like, this kind of seems like, so what the heck is happening? Like, why are we
It's like,
doing this?
it's all like extraneous.
yeah,
yeah.
but then I ended up finding something else to like, I removed
Okay.
that, softened it up. So yeah, same goes for characters. If you can remove the character and
Oh.
it not, maybe the character is lacking development or they should be cut.
Yeah, the characters are harder for me to remove because I get attached to them like so fast.
That's
They
why it's
become
your
like real living
darlings.
people. Yeah, I know.
Your
It's like,
darlings.
ugh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I happily relate. I feel like my answer is very similar to Amina's. So I see you. But I feel like for me, I'm so early on in the process, like Mina said, like I don't really know yet what to take out. But I remember when I started working on this book, I didn't have like my third main character, who is now a POV character. She didn't exist in the first iteration of my like zero draft. And I knew something was missing. I knew that I didn't quite have enough with my two characters to carry the story in the way that I wanted to. And I'd had this idea for this other character for like what I was thinking was going to be a different story. I was fascinated by the concept of like the glass cliff and this bear ending up in a position that they didn't expect themselves to be in, like being elevated to the throne, like kind of randomly. And so I thought like, oh, maybe that's a different idea. But then I realized when I was kind of looking at my plot, I needed something that was going to push my two main characters towards the like quest that they have to go on. And so I knew that like I needed to add a subplot in to kind of satisfy that piece. And now she's one of my favorite characters to write. Like I'm really loving her story and how it's sort of developing. But similarly, I have a bunch of other like random questions that I'll ask like about some of the other people. So right now I'm really just trying to keep my blinders on as much as I can and focus on my three main characters. And if there's like things that I think need to happen, I kind of decide later who to attach those things to. So like the brother character of my first, like my, we'll just call her my female protagonist because she is kind of the one driving the whole story. Her brother character, I found out something about him later that I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll use that to add on in this way. So right now I'm doing the expansion, and I'm sure I'll be doing the, what's the opposite of that? I'll shrink it down later. Like reduction. Thank you. I will reduce later once I'm further along in the process. But yeah.
And I feel like the more that you process that as the writer, and the more that you kind of like flesh things out, even if things don't make it into the end product, like I don't know, I get the sense that readers can kind of sense when there's substance behind everything that you're writing. You know, it's not flimsy. Like it's it's like there's something there. There's something to grab onto. So
It's
I
like
don't
an
know.
iceberg.
I
You
like
only ever
that.
see the tip of it.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
you can kind of trust that there's so much more beyond the surface.
I also love what Margot was saying. She
Yeah.
said you can combine characters too, and it hurts less. I did that actually
That's
for
such
Venture
a
Beyond.
good idea. Yeah.
One character who was like the mother figure was supposed to be kind of like this mother figure to Riley, and then her sister was like involved in the plot, and I was going to make it like her aunt, and I ended up
Mhm.
cutting the mother figure and just making the aunt the mother figure instead. So like it became,
Yeah.
you know, so I was like, oh, I didn't lose them, but you kind of do. But it just
Yeah.
was,
But
like, I was like, why do I
yeah.
need two? Like,
Yeah,
they're doing the
if
same
they
thing.
can exactly, if they can kind of fulfill the roles that you need them to fulfill in the story as only one, it's just more efficient that way. And that way the reader doesn't have so many
Exactly.
characters to keep track of too. Yeah, I try to be conscious of like how many characters I have because it's just too much. But yeah. Oh, Hannah has to head out. Bye, Hannah.
Bye, Hannah.
Yeah.
Good luck with the paper.
Right. Yes, good luck and sleep well. Thank you. And oh, also, I don't think I said hi to Anna yet. So hello, Anna.
Hi.
And oh, Tia, that's really sweet. Thank you.
You are killing it with your answers.
Anyway, do we want to answer like one last question and then sprint, or just jump straight into the sprint? How are we feeling?
I'm good with another question. How about you guys?
Okay.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm always down.
Oh my gosh.
I got a lot to say. Professional yapper.
Frankly, yeah, I'm such a yapper. It's a problem, but maybe not. Maybe this is good to be a yapper in this setting.
I agree.
Let's see. Oh, I'm sort of torn. Okay.
I mean,
I
if we keep our
think-
answers short, we could do both.
That is
That's
true.
true.
All right, let's start with this one because I think I maybe have more of an answer for this one. How do you deal with the feeling that you're so behind everyone else when sharing your progress? And man, that's a tough one because it's a totally valid feeling. And like, I feel like as humans, we have the urge to compare ourselves to other people to like see how we measure up because we want to naturally see, like, okay, what progress have I made? Like, how am I doing as a person? Like, you know, and in a sense, we're trying to like derive value for ourselves when we do that. Like, I think that's a really strong instinct that a lot of humans have. I think that's why like a lot of people struggle with comparison. But all I can really say is like you're racing against yourself. That might be kind of cliche, but it's a similar thing with any sort of like solo activity. So like I'm a runner, I'm a runner. I haven't run for very long, but that's sort of the mindset that I have where as a runner, you know, like I'll run in races for fun, but I'm not really running to win races. I'm running to beat my own personal record, my own PR. And for me, the satisfaction of like tracking my own progress is really helpful. And so I just have to kind of like put blinders on and not pay attention to like the people around me because everyone else is on their own journey, you know, and everyone else has different life circumstances too. Like for me being a mom, like I can't compare my progress to someone else's progress that like doesn't have kids that they're also like spending a lot of time taking care of and like a lot of brain and emotional energy. So like really I'm just trying to focus on measuring my progress against myself and not other people. But like it's a completely valid emotion. So I want to affirm that. Like I think a lot of people struggle with that. But you just have to kind of stubbornly cling to, hey, like as long as you yourself are making some progress, even if it's like just a little inch every single day, or even if like nothing happens for a while, but then you return to your story after a while and you know, as long as you are making progress yourself bit by bit on your own timeline, I think that you can feel good about that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I am a mom. Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, I almost lost my AirPod.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was thinking along the same lines of like more so like why am I doing it? You know what I mean? Like why am I writing and like comparing myself to the me that was a year ago, barely able to write 500 words a week, to the me now that's like, it's just this flowing and like pouring out of me, and like how I got to this headspace of like letting myself go and just write and finding my passion and joy in it, you know, and not like pressuring myself to like hit a certain word count or like do even a daily amount of words. Like I'm just writing because it's fun. And like keeping that kind of, like you were saying, like I'm comparing it to the me a year ago and like how, you know what I mean? Like that's the growth that I'm really focused on, and not like comparing it to, you know, what I should be doing or my own goals I have for myself, because that can come into play as like, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not hitting these goals and stuff. But it's like, no, a year ago me would be jaw on the floor, like shocked, you know, and like so proud of the progress. And I think that's all that matters, is your own timeline.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I agree with that, especially because I just started writing again for the first time in like 5-6 years. And before that, probably 5-6 years before then. So it's very easy to compare to other people, but you don't know their story. You don't know what they're currently like going through, their responsibilities. Are they in school? Do they have full-time job? Do they have kids? And even if it's the exact same as you, nobody is the exact same person as you. And that's why I like to talk on my channel a lot about like the struggles and talk about things that I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't think a lot of people know what they're doing. And even if they do know what they're doing, there's still that imposter syndrome that makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing. And I feel like that's kind of really important to talk about. And it's so easy to compare, but nobody starts off like making this much progress, similar to what Tay was talking about. Like, I don't write every day. Sometimes I don't write every week. And yeah, sometimes I beat myself up about it a little bit, but also like, who am I disappointing? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm content with what I'm doing, I don't have to like make my goals match someone else's. If they say that they want to publish their book by the end of the year, that doesn't mean I have to do that either. Like, it's just kind of blocking out the noise of what they want to do and kind of just being like, you do you and I'm just gonna do me. And like, there's no point in the comparison. And again, easier said than done, but at the end of the day, nobody's judging. Like, I never look at any of the author tubers that I watch and be like, well, this girl published 10 books and this girl hasn't published anything. And I really don't care. I just like what they're posting and want to hear about their book, and nobody nobody cares. So you're your worst like critic, you know what I mean? Like, so love you, Tia.
Yeah
100%. I like progress especially is like a tricky thing because it's never linear. Like, even if you are on like an upward trajectory for time, like you're not guaranteed to be there the whole time. No, I know one of the questions that Amina and I got yesterday in our stream with Brielle and Ari was all about like how you would talk to past you, like little you, if you could like take her hand and share something that you're proud of. I feel like little me would be surprised that I haven't already published, but little me doesn't know like all the stuff that adult me has gone through or changed and like life has continued to evolve. So I think just being patient with yourself and compassionate about yourself, that's how you make your best art. Like, you don't make your best art when you're being mean to yourself or you're sort of denigrating your progress. You make your best art when you feel safe and free to experiment and create. And I feel like that's whenever I'm writing that I'm chasing. I'm like not usually thinking about how many words I'm getting, unless I have writer's block, and then I'm always thinking about how many words I'm getting. Generally speaking, I am not thinking about the word count. I'm trying to think like, how do I tell the story in a way that makes sense? Because no two stories, as we know, no two stories are alike, and everybody has a different process too. So maybe somebody's process consists of like drafting, 5,000 words a day. I know that's never going to be me. Like, if I can get 1,000 words a day, I feel like I'm crushing, and I love that. And I know that that's kind of how things work for me. So like Joy said, like Amina said, like staying in your own lane, moisturized, unbothered, working on your own story. That's ultimately gonna like keep you focused. I say this because it's very cold and dry in Canada right now. The moisturizer. I love it. But basically, just yeah, focus on yourself as much as you possibly can, because any energy that you're spending sort of thinking about how other people are perceiving you or where other people are at in their progress is like time away from you and your process and your art. So it's like normal, like Joyce said, to be sort of self-conscious if you don't feel like you're moving as fast as you'd like to. But maybe the best that you have is as fast as you're going right now. It's not going to be the same forever, but try to like trust in the timing of your life, as my mom always likes to say. So things are going to go slow, and that doesn't mean that you're stopped. As long as you are still thinking about it, working on it, even 2 words a day is more than, you know, Emily was doing even 2 years ago. So it's all kind of relative.
Right. Yeah.
Perfectionism recovery. Yes. Definitely. Perfectionism recovery is real. Yes. 1,000%.
Yeah. Oh, I compare myself to myself, but that's so much worse than me comparing myself to others because I have higher expectations for myself than other people. That's also real, honestly. And like, that's just something that like, you just kind of have to process. It's not helpful, but you know, like you just have to process it for yourself. I know. Yeah. I mean, honestly, listen, like my husband has, like, I don't want to like out my husband, but he has a huge like inner critic that he struggles a lot with. And just, you know, I encourage him a lot. And so I don't know, maybe you need to just seek some encouragement or affirmation. Like, I don't know what your love language is either. Like, but even like sometimes that can help. But honestly, yeah, it might just be something you have to process.
Priorities and stuff, because like if you have children, like that should be like something you like. It's so much more fulfilling to pour into your children than like your writing, you know what I mean? Like, not that I have kids, but I'm assuming like that should be something that I feel like is more rewarding at the end of the day. And like if you have a lot of things that are going on, don't like try to be perfect in all these aspects. Like if you can't give
that's the struggle
in all these buckets. So
but Amina, what if we want to be perfect at everything?
It's not gonna work out. Like
I know. I do struggle a lot with that. Like I want to excel at everything that I do, and I have too many things that I love to do. So I feel that.
There's only so much time in the day.
Yep. Fig tree analogy goes crazy, unfortunately. Think of all the lives I want to live. I'm like, do all of them. So have to pick what makes sense. Tia, you're doing great. Like you're engaged in community, like you're actively working on your project. You're doing so much better than I think you're doing. And if you need to hear from somebody else, happy to.
Yeah, I feel that. I just want to be perfect on my first tries. That's so wrong. Listen, you can desire it, but I just know, it's not always going to be the case. But all right. Well, honestly, I'm kind of feeling another sprint now because I'm like, I remember I was like, can I finish this sentence, please? Earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, so the scene that I was writing was really challenging at first to get into, but then I was like, okay, I think I know where this is going. And then the timer went off and I was like, oh.
That's the word. I think that always happens just as soon as you get into it.
Yeah. So maybe we can do a shorter sprint though, because I feel like it is getting a little bit late. Right?
Yeah, and
maybe
I think my phone might die. So maybe 20?
Yeah, let's go for 20 minutes. Hang on. I have to move my dang thing again. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh my gosh. My webcam is like in the way of all of my tabs. This is not helpful. I have to figure out how to change the settings. Sorry, I'm verbally processing. I'm new to all of this. Hang on. Focus timer, and it's 25 minutes. Right? Okay. Or 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let's do 20 minutes. Hopefully that worked. Hang on. Okay, that worked. Perfect. Okay. All right. Now I can. There we go. Perfect. All right. Is everyone ready?
Should we do our whole thing?
Oh yeah.
What?
Like we're good vibes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Good vibes to each other.
That is so funny.
Also, girl, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's dark back there.
Oh my gosh, the light, the little flickering candle in the back.
Yeah.
Listen. Just maybe I'll just like turn off my camera so you don't have to look at it. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start.
y'all, I was in it. Oh my god.
How many words did you get down?
Girl, 849.
Oh my goodness.
Girl.
But
Amazing.
this is for the romance.
She said,
No, listen. The girl, I'm shaking in my boots. Okay, this is like the first I've written spice. Okay, doing it on a live is actually very insane behavior, but it's not crazy. We're leading in. Okay, and oh my god, you guys, I'm like giggling and kicking my feet. I'm like, like, oh my
The best feeling.
god. Yeah, that was so much fun.
dang, girl. That's a lot of words, though.
A lot.
Yeah, I'm just having fun. I'm just having
Clearly. Well, I did not write that much. I wrote 227, but I now understand my robot situation fully. So I'm happy.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Thank you. We got Spice. We got robots. Who's next?
Spicy robots.
Ooh. Oh, I think your
We
mic
can't
not
hear
working.
you, Joy. Oh.
There we go. I don't know what happened. Sorry. I was like just talking away this whole time. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I got 276 words. Although I got a little bit distracted because I don't know if you saw it, but my husband brought me a scoop of cookie dough.
Ooh.
Amazing.
He made
Oh
cookies.
my
I love
God.
cookie dough.
Okay, with the monster stuff. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys saw. I've never known a monster to make
I was
cookies.
dying.
Monster eating cookies. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. We're adding this to the lore, you know.
Yes,
Right?
with
Yeah,
Tommy.
yeah. I love it. The monster strikes again. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So I was a little distracted, but you know, I don't have anything super exciting. More like brigands have been introduced, you know, like kind of like highwaymen, pirate type people, but not pirates because it's not in the ocean. So just add that, I guess, to the list. They're essentially being cornered. So they're going to have to figure out how to get out of this hairy situation. Yeah.
Is that this?
Visual. Wait. I can't really see it. But I'm here for the visual aid.
I was like, brigand.
Brigand. They're like, you know, like a thief kind of, but not.
Oh.
It's like a whole like bandits. That's probably a better a better
She's like,
synonym,
let me look.
Like, let me write that down. Here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, but less cowboy because
Like a
it's
fantasy
not-
bandit.
Less
Fantasy bandit.
Yeah, not like a western.
There we go. That's better. Maybe I'll rename them to be bandits instead of brigands because I feel like brigands is a
I'd
little
never heard
weird.
that word before.
Yeah, me either. That's why I Googled it.
Same. New to me as well.
I could tell based on the silence that met me. I was like, y'all don't understand.
No.
Guys.
Stop with the milk too. Hi.
I'm so
Oh my gosh.
spoiled.
Oh
We
my
love a
god,
supportive
stop.
husband.
You deserve it.
They're like still
You.
warm.
Deserved.
Oh my
The
gosh,
best.
so good. I'm just afraid of spilling them everywhere, but you know.
A little ASMR.
The disembodied hand. Yes. That's my husband. He's just a hand.
Oh, how amazing. That's so sweet.
I love
Yeah,
it.
marry him again.
I would marry him every day of the week. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet. I love that.
So don't mind me. I'm just gonna like mute myself and help myself to.
All good.
You should.
Eat that
Also,
cookie.
Amina,
Mhm.
I
Oh,
feel
I
like you would
good.
eat a presentation night, like PowerPoint night.
You
I
think
think you
so?
would crush.
I
Yeah.
know so.
Ew.
I know so.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I appreciate that. I should do a presentation as one of my videos for like, here's why you should read my book.
Oh, I'm seated.
Gosh,
I am
yes.
seated and ready.
Full,
That would be
whole
awesome.
I love that idea so much. Oh my gosh.
Emily, how
Amazing.
many words did you get?
Oh, good cue. Let me check. I think I got 473, which is still really good.
Let's
Still
go.
happy. I'm doing like stream of consciousness style, like trying to make sense of a bunch of stuff because I like underthought my world building, and then I started to write and I realized I didn't have answers to the questions my characters were asking of each other. And I was like, I should think about that a little more. So I've been doing a little bit of like reverse engineering some pieces. And then I got distracted. I went into like, I didn't realize that the mom of the main character has like a sister. And so I'm trying to name her. And I'm like, that name goes with Aurelia. Also, hi, Becca. Yay.
Hi, bestie.
Girl, you just caught me while I was just like totally. I have like chocolate all over my
Munching.
hands.
The only way to eat
I
a
love
cookie,
that.
you're fine.
Oh my god.
Yes, thank you for saying hello. Anyway, sorry. Keep going, Emily.
All good. All good. I was just gonna say, if anybody has
I was
any
just like-
names that go with Aurelia, you let me know.
Ooh.
Leave it down.
Honestly, yeah, right. I really relate to that, Emily, just the idea of like underthinking the world a little bit before diving in. Like, because I've had the same thing happen to me where I'm like, I really don't have all the answers for the world building, and we're just rolling with it and kind of trying to brainstorm on the go during this draft. I'm doing a lot of that.
Yeah, brackets
Yep.
are my best friend. If I don't know,
I
yo, girl, figure it out.
I love
Yeah.
brackets. Okay, ever since I figured out that I could like just put placeholders for things, like the freedom that granted me. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
It
Like, I
changed
feel-
the game.
I view a first draft as like a bulldozer. Like, I'm just trying
Mhm.
to get through the
It's a great
first
visual.
draft, and like future Taylor, she already knows the problems, and she'll have a better
There you
idea to
go.
fix later.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
And like don't underestimate the power of like the subconscious mind. You know, it's like you write those down and you're like, I'm gonna figure that out later. The whole time, like while you're asleep, while you're doing your life, like your brain's kind of working on that problem solving in the
Mhm.
background. Because like I've had these random eureka moments where I'm like, oh, that's how I solved that problem, and I wasn't even actively thinking about it. It just kind of comes to me
Yeah.
later.
Or
So,
a
like,
name. Yeah.
Yeah, a name. Speaking of names, we have some suggestions
Oh,
actually.
we got some questions. Oh, Celine's pretty. I
Yes.
like that.
Celine is really
Oh,
pretty.
something
That's like the
opposite to
moon
Aurelia.
goddess.
And then Celine, yeah, as a moon goddess is really beautiful. I
like
love that. Write that
Where
down.
are my
Write that down.
sticky notes.
That's
Writing that down immediately.
Yeah, square
I was
brackets.
thinking
my
Isadora,
beloved.
but I don't know
They're
if
brackets.
that's too like
Mhm.
too much.
Yeah, girl, you just gotta release it. You know,
Because it's in there,
Release
you
it.
know? It's in there. And I talked
that
about
that
it.
writing animal.
Yes. I have in my video that's going live Saturday, I talked about like this project, like the romance one, but in there I was like, honestly, you're gonna learn so much more from like writing your project than anything else. Like anything you can read or watch or absorb, it's like writing it, you're gonna learn so much about like yourself, your writing style and stuff
Yeah.
too. So just keep writing, even if you're not like sold on it.
And I completely
just
understand that feeling. Like the first
Yes.
20,000, like I wrote the first 20,000 words of my draft in the first like in like 6 months, and then I've written the last like 60,000 words of my draft in the last like 4 months, which is a little bit crazy. It's yeah, that still is not. But, you know, it took me 6 months because I was much more painstaking and perfectionistic with it, and I think that there's definitely a place for that. I mean, I love writing beautiful prose, and I like things to be perfect and well laid out and that sort of thing. And I kind of needed the time to spend in my characters' heads before, you know, being able to like do like placeholders everywhere. So like I think there's a time for that. But if it's starting to like make you anxious or feel like you're not making progress on it, I mean, I will say I was able to start writing a lot more once I sort of was able to like let that go. And just accept the placeholders, accept that some scenes are not going to be the way that I want them to be in the end. And I feel a lot more freedom. And my mantra is like, I'm gonna fix it in revision. I'm gonna fix it in revision, and it's gonna be so good for it. But I like the idea of telling the story to myself. Like I've heard that a lot as well, where it's like the first draft or the zero draft, whatever one that you do, like is really you telling the story to yourself and making sure it's out on the page. And then from there, you just carve and chip away at it. So.
100%.
Oh, I suddenly can't hear any words. Can you hear me? Or did I
Oh,
stop
girl, she
talking?
just doesn't want to listen to it.
I think she's like, la, 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 I'm pretending I
That
didn't hear
just
this.
like, woo!
Wait, is the audio
Yeah,
broken?
you're good.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like so paranoid about something going wrong that I'm like, yeah.
No, you're all good.
I love that.
That's
But
so
I resonate
funny.
a lot with what you said because I'm still a perfectionist, but even more so when I first started, because like when I like was trying to like write my first chapter, I was like, oh, the first chapter has to be so good, and I know it's trash, and I'm just like, let me just let it be trash. Like I need to have other trash to write. So like when I get to revision,
Yeah.
and you know that you're going to revise, so why not leave more work for future you? You're already dealing with a lot. Like you want to revise and write at the same time. It has to be good the first time around. Like, you know, you're only one person. So
Yeah. I think when I realized that I had more ideas up my sleeve and other stories I also wanted to tell, that sort of like kicked my butt into gear, because I was like, oh, if this one book, this one story is going to take me forever to write because I'm being so painstaking about it, then like I'm not going to have time to write out all of my other ideas and all my other stories. So like I was like, well, I better just get cranking and I'll deal with it later. You know,
yeah.
that was one of the things that made me feel a little bit more inspired as well.
I like that.
Yeah, but it is Eastern time. It's 10:30. So I don't know if we want to wrap up. Are we feeling okay? And we can say our goodbyes, or does anyone have like maybe one last question? And if nobody does, that's fine too. But
I know you had a question like before the last sprint, there were two that we're gonna answer. Is there
ooh.
Two.
Oh.
Party at
Hello?
Party at Amina.
Yeah.
Yesterday
Yeah.
I did this.
Yesterday with the fireworks and the thumbs up. It was crazy. There we go.
Oh, that's
fancy.
fancy. Also, bye, Hedgehog. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
That is a crazy sentence.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Becca, correct. Yes.
true. Okay.
Bye.
I think the other question that we didn't answer, wait, which one was it? Was it this one? What's your favorite story structure to use or base your story off of, or do you make up your own thing? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
You mean like Save the Cat, or like the 3-act or 4-act, or like that sort of thing? I think for me, initially, when I started writing the story, I was waffling a lot. I would say like very, very loosely based off of the 3-act structure. And I have a lot of elements that kind of follow the hero's journey, but like I'm not married to it either. So I'm mostly making up my own thing, but I do try to be conscious of like the natural beats that a story has. Like, of course, like, yes, there is like an inciting incident, and there is kind of like a midpoint twist that happens, and what I'm calling, like, you know, the dark night of the soul is like another common thing. So, and obviously climax and ending and resolution, all that, like all those pieces are there, but I'm not, and so like I'm hitting the main beats, I think, but I'm also not like staring at a structure. I for a while I was thinking that I would try to use a structure since it was like going to be my first full-length book, but the more that I was writing, the more I was like, nah, you know. So
I feel like rules are made to be broken. Like structures only work so long as they serve you, and as soon as they stop serving you, you like carve your own path to your own thing. There's no real rules.
Also, bye, Becca.
Bye, Becca.
Bye. Honestly, I feel too ignorant to answer this question, I fear, because I just know just the basic like exposition, conflict, climax, resolution, rising action, the whole bit, like just the basic bare bones
Yeah.
structure. So like beyond that, I really can't tell you, sis. but I'm not even sure how well I'm following it because I don't think about it when I'm writing. I think it's probably something I'm gonna go back and figure out. Am I paused? Okay, never mind. Y'all were all really still.
We're so still. We're enraptured. We're just so captivated by you.
No one was blinking. I was like, hello. But yeah, I don't know if how well I'm even like following it. So maybe later I'll figure that out. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yeah.
I mean, I think there are so many story structures out there, and I think that stories tend to like naturally follow some of that structure just in the way that we tell stories, at least in the West, because I think that there might be like different types of stories in other places, but in the West especially, like we love structure, you know. Oh, it looks like we lost Tay.
Oh, we lost Taylor.
Yeah, maybe her phone died. But yeah, it is very intuitive. I would agree with that. And like I think that structures can be so helpful, especially people that are plotters. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah,
But
because I'm not. I literally just sit and write and go.
yeah, especially since I'm more of a discovery writer, and I tend to just go with my gut with a lot of things, and I loosely in my mind kind of know where I'm going, but I don't really follow a specific one. But yeah.
No, that makes sense. I used it to start kind of because I have aspirations of being a planner, but I think I'm actually too inherently chaotic as a person to be able to do that.
I
with
feel
any
that
sense of
so much.
consistency.
Yeah, that's me.
It like shouldn't work. Yes, it shouldn't work, but it somehow does. I always say that like my process is extremely messy, but then my output is like quite tidy.
Yeah.
Look, it's Tay. She is here. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Wait.
What?
Oh, is that okay. Wait, is this how this works? Wait. Sorry, I'm like thrown off because I don't know how StreamYard works, but anyway.
Hi, Taylor, as her husband.
I was so confused.
Like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh no, it's not loading. Well, that might honestly be our sign that it's probably time to head out anyways, though.
Yeah,
Right?
and StreamYard has been being really weird.
Yeah, a little funky. Honestly, like I feel like so many of us have been streaming lately. Maybe it's just like, you know,
it's like author tube enough.
We're overwhelming the guard.
Yeah. I love that. Well, Tay, do you want us to wait for you or should we just wrap it up here?
I don't even remember the question. What was the question that we were?
It was just about like plot structure. And I think that each of us
just
answered it except for Taylor. So like, or maybe did she? I don't know. My brain isn't working anymore at this point, to be honest. But
okay.
One moment.
One moment.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Y'all are so funny. Oh, Yasmin, good job.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad you're able to get those words in. That's really good. All right, I'm trying to add Tay again.
Yeah.
Oh, yay,
there
we go.
Back, bro. I was like,
Tay is back
right now. Like,
Tay is so back.
Dude,
did it.
I'm not joking. All of you froze, and I was like, am I tripping? I was like, what is happening right now? And I sat there for a good like 2 minutes, like, guys.
Oh no.
I wonder if when airplane mode on. I did everything.
When I thought you got frozen, if you were actually frozen.
I was.
Oh.
Then I tried a bunch of things, and then I was like, Trevor, get me your phone so I could tell them I'm alive. I was like, I need to just see too if like you guys were still on, and then I restarted my phone. But now we're
there
here.
we go.
Nice.
This did it one time before. Guys, that freaked me out.
Oh, that is so stressful. Oh my god.
It just was spinning. I was like,
anyway, but I don't know. Taylor, did you have any thoughts about that last question that we were answering about like if you use a story structure, or did you answer that? I can't remember because I can't remember anything anymore.
No, I didn't answer. I don't actually use a story structure. I did for Venture Alone for the first time use the 27 chapter breakdown, which I think is like the Save the Cat.
Yeah,
from
and there was
Fantastic, I think is her name.
yes. Yeah, I watched some of her video. Oh, she's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Iconic
Natalie,
person.
yeah, Natalie's the one who like was like, this is what we're gonna use, babe. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome, I'm down, whatever. Because we like outlined together. And then for Venture Beyond, I didn't really have one. I think it was pretty similar to the hero's journey. And then for Venture Below, my developmental editor was like, this is pretty much the storyline you're following is the hero's journey. So then that's why I used it for Venture Beyond. But for like even close, this romance project, I am not following one at all. Like at all. Like I have that climactic moment, but aside from that, that's it. I don't know if I'll use one for the sun and the moon, but that's not my problem right now. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. There is a YouTube video that I saw. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. What is her name? Oh, she did a thing about pacing and like mini arcs. I don't know if anyone else saw that video, but I really liked the way that she talked about story structure. Okay, by the second story. Here, let me see if I can just like share it maybe in the chat because that video is amazing. I loved that video.
But Tia, so, like, you need a friend to help you outline. I recommend.
Yes.
Highly recommend. Changed my life.
Okay. Oh, Yasmin, that's really sweet. Oh, that's really cute. Underwater kisses, unreal. I love it. And yes, friends to outline. Honestly, yeah. I've never really like written super collaboratively yet, so it would be interesting.
Yeah, like Natalie helped me.
So
I helped Natalie, and then I helped Cody. So it's like it's so fun.
Like everyone's helping each other. Yeah,
it's mainly just like validating the other person's idea and like helping them mold it to like, because sometimes you don't see like how things can lay out. Having someone there that's like, no, that is not a garbage idea. That is a great idea. You're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like,
that's it's kind of like exactly. It's kind of like a developmental editor too, where they can kind of like see it from a different perspective. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Oh, now writing collaborative
friends, community.
I can't speak.
You're good. You're good. It is literally almost 11 p.m. So
fair. I was just gonna say writing collaboratively is a gift. I had a friend in high school. We both were in like the writer's craft class that you could take in grade 11 here. Together, I would like swap our current works, and like she would always ask such insightful questions, and I really up-leveled, I would say, through that experience. But haven't really had anything like that since. So, but yes, I do. I can vouch for it, I guess, firsthand. It is super helpful, especially if you're one of the more chaotic types like me, and you sometimes need somebody to anchor you and help you look at your work, not objectively, but like as close to objectively as I think we can get to our own art. So that's my sense.
That's awesome. Ooh, Story Genius I've also heard about. I haven't read it yet, but one of these days I will. But well, with that, I think it's probably time for us to retire, go to bed, get some sleep.
We've been on for almost 3 hours, which is crazy.
I know. I like literally saw that and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry for taking so long. Oh my gosh. But
no, don't even. It's been great.
Yeah. You guys have been the best. So really quickly, do you guys want to share like where people can find you, and then we'll sign off?
Yeah. Should we do our circle again?
Emily?
Sure.
Oh wait, I think that. Oh my god, we're sorry.
I was like, wait, we moved around. I was like, wait a minute, we moved.
I was like, I'm last.
Okay, I can start for sure. My name's Emily. You can find me here on YouTube at Emily H. Thompson. I did have to look up my own handle, but we got it. We're good. We're there. You can also find me on Instagram at Emily Thompson Writes. I'm a little bit more active on YouTube, and I try to post like roughly one video a week, depending. I've been uploading on Fridays most recently, or I don't know that there's going to be a new video tomorrow because I am not finished editing it yet. But I post like vlogs, lifestyle type content in the writing space, chronicling my journey as I work on Project Stargazer. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, come on over. We'd love to have you. But yeah, that's me. That's where you can find me.
Nice.
There we go.
Okay, I guess I'll go next then.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I lost the plot. Which way were we going?
I think it's good to end with you because it's on your channel. So I'll
You
go.
know,
Okay.
wisdom. There we go.
My name is Amina, and I am on YouTube at It's Amina, and I make videos about books, writing, and whatever else I feel like posting. I just posted a video about friendships with one of my friends. It's super long. It's like 50 minutes, but it was so
Love
fun.
that.
It's not author-tube related at all, but if you like podcasts, then I think you'd like this. And I'm also on Instagram at Amina's Library if you want to hang out with me there.
Awesome.
Yo.
Hello. Yes, I am Tay, and I'm on AuthorTube/BookTube as Taylor Ann Wright, and then also on Instagram as author Taylor Ann Wright. If you want to support me and check out Venture Below or Venture Beyond, they're on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. I have a video coming out Saturday all about my romance project, and that is it.
Nice.
Love it.
Love it.
And then, of course, you're on my channel, and I try to post on Saturdays. I do have a video coming out on Saturday, so keep your eyes open. And I actually just started an Instagram for my writing, so there's not very much on there yet, but it's also Write with Joy, but with an extra Y, because somebody else had it. And I was like, but it's fine. We'll cope. But yeah, well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Oh, this was so fun. All right, I'm definitely going to have to do more streams in the future. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well,
Thank you for
love you guys so
hosting.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.